The first thing I have to do is congratulate you on the film Finding Nicole. It is such a powerful piece. And Harley, I'm going to start with you. Usually it's ladies first, but Harley, I'm going to start with you. Putting this onto a camera is got to be no easy task.
No, as a matter of fact, it was terrifying, and for many reasons. First of all, it's our first true story, and the woman that this actually happened to is there with us and is involved with writing the script, producing the story. So we have to be as authentic to that as possible. So that's the first part that's very naturally. The second part is the subject matter is a very sensitive thing. And to put actors through that, because a lot of people don't understand, it's not something you wear on the outside, but you actually have to go through it to some degree on the inside. Otherwise, the emotions don't come through to the audience. And both Katie and Shamari were just really fantastic at taking it so that I felt like a fly on the wall in a real situation. So that was the second layer of it. And then the third is I grew up in domestic violence myself,
Okay.
and I haven't said anything my whole life. And all of a sudden, somebody puts a microphone and says, "Say something on this subject,"
Mhm.
and that was terrifying too.
Katie, did you have enough prep time, do you think, to really, engage with Nicole, the character that you play?
I do actually. Funny enough, it doesn't really seem like it would be because it was over a couple of months, but we got to meet her about a year or so prior.
Actually,
It was
several
probably
years.
several years. So
Because we originally met with her in 2019, and then
okay,
COVID derailed the
yes,
Yeah.
whole
because
thing,
so
actually.
right. But the thing is we didn't know when we were going to actually get into production with it. But I had developed a relationship with her over that time because we knew it was just a matter of time until we were going to be able to get to the project.
Mhm.
But I mean, both her and I just jumped into the deep end and getting to know each other, and I was able to ask her some really personal questions that are very hard for victims who've have had to process this, and to be able to talk to her about where was she during these moments was it was intimate, and it's not the kind of conversation that you just have with anybody. So her and I have really developed this like soul sister kind of relationship because we've been able to talk at that level, and it's a beautiful thing. I
Yes.
feel like it's turned out to be a beautiful relationship. And
Yeah, they're a team.
yeah.
They
And you
definitely
guys have
are.
shown that you're a team too in the going to different cities and opening up the
Yeah.
film for people and explaining it and doing the Q&A. I mean, that
Yeah.
also takes a bit of talent to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely have become close in
Hmm.
a funny way too, because I think that they relate to each other in a funny way now. Because
Yeah.
she's lived part of pieces of her life.
Harley,
Yeah.
you are known for doing a lot of, crime action type movies and things like that. This
Yeah.
is such a different kind of genre for you. And I know it was uncomfortable because you said that, but
Yeah.
talk to me about this production and putting it together. It couldn't have been easy.
Definitely the challenges like we already said. But for me though, I honestly don't care that much about genre. I want a great story to tell, and when I have an opportunity to tell a great story and hopefully save some people from going through this, maybe make some changes, and spark some conversations. This to me was just a film that kind of had to be made. Um, I just felt like I was my duty to make it, especially after being quiet my whole life about how I grew up.
Katie, I mean, you've been to a number of the screenings, the premieres around the country. What's the
Hmm.
audience reaction been like for you?
If, crazy. It's actually been a bit different in every place because I've realized that the audience is coming from different
Yeah.
perspectives of domestic violence. So when we were in LA, it was a mixed bag of victims to people who just want to help push the passion behind this message and what we're trying to do with it, to families of victims. Where when I was in Salt Lake City, it was mostly families of victims and the victims themselves and advocates and politicians. When we were here in Michigan, it was the same bunch there. So each I felt like the audience overall came out of it like this story needs to be told, but I also saw that there is a lot of urges from people that whether they want to help and push, or even people that were justifying certain actions. I mean, I think I've noticed that people are really starting to wake up to these things, and they're starting to say, hey, it's about time that this is being said, but they also are seeing that they have work to do within themselves. And I really think that this is all we could ask for, is for people to start
Yeah.
seeing, what they can do within themselves to help push this change.
I
Definitely a
think that
conversation starter.
Yes, definitely a conversation starter.
I think that
Uncomfortable conversations too.
Yeah,
yeah, well,
yeah.
it certainly is. But what
Yeah.
I was going to say is, I think Nicole has taught us to get over the shame and the embarrassment
Yeah.
of
Mm-hmm.
being a victim. Because I think that's where women have been for the last 50 years. I think she's shown us, a side of bravery that a lot of women may
Yeah.
have, but they don't show it.
Yeah.
They're too
Yeah.
scared.
My mom went through a lot similar things, and you know uh, she passed 3 months ago, unfortunately, and this was the one film that I was really like felt like I was gonna give her something special too, for everything that we grew up in, and she did this quietly, like you said, never really letting people know and letting people in, and I think we all kind of followed that lead. The first one that started speaking out against it was my little sister, uh, and then we kind of all acknowledged that it happened, but nobody else really talked about it.
Well, that's been the trait, I think, is people
Yeah.
just, they swallow it, and then they don't know what to do with that anger,
Yeah.
that aggression. So it just continues the circle of violence.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, as the movie begins to, open around and hit the streaming services and all that, what do you hope audiences will gain from it?
Mm. I mean, I think what we have started is what I want to keep happen. I want people to have conversations. It's funny enough, and I don't mean to jump away from Finding Nicole, but we are in pre production for another film called Killing Jenny that is also set in domestic violence. Very, very different story.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of mirrors some of the stuff that we see in this Diddy trial, with a lot of blurred lines, and when the abuse may not seem like abuse, or may be trickier to identify as abuse. And that's kind of where we're going next, and I want to keep these conversations alive because I think they're very healthy to have. Because I remember when I read the book, and we had the initial conversations with Nicole, and there was this talk about her husband raping her, and I didn't even know how to take that, and I didn't even know how to wrap my head around that a husband and a wife could be at at that kind of a place, and what it even looked like. I had never even thought about it, and I think these conversations um, will only help us in the long run. I think most things that are bad come out of ignorance. When you see people that fight against things, it's usually out of fear and ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can get ahead of things and talk about things before, I think we can make a lot of a bigger impact. It's just like Nicole teaching her classes at high school,
Mhm.
trying to help people before they need help.
And for me, after I saw the film, I mean, I told Katie
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this. I mean, it was such a different kind of experience for me because,
Yeah.
in movies, I kind of know about a few
Yeah.
things. This I had no understanding. And now that I've seen the film, and I encourage everyone to see this movie, by the way,
Thank you. Yeah.
um,
Thank you.
it opens up your eyes and you want to learn more. You want to
Yeah.
figure out a way how you can help or
Mhm.
Yes.
or be part of the solution. And
Yeah.
Katie, that goes to your acting ability. I mean, you
Yeah.
brought this home beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would just love to say that I am so proud for what she did, and I was terrified because I knew that everything was going to ride on her. Because if you don't go on the ride with her, it doesn't work. So a lot of pressure, very very tough role, and I mean, she won some incredible awards for this along the way. The Around Festival in Europe, which is one of the top 10 festivals, gave her the year-end award for Best Actress. We've never won one of those before, so I'm super proud of what she did. It's amazing. Amazing performance. And to do that when Nicole
Yeah.
is sitting in another room or sometimes behind the scenes in the room.
Yeah.
Working with your husband, was that problematic in any way?
No, actually, this project, I've already kind of said this. If it wasn't for the fact that I felt like I was safe on set, I don't think I would have been able to let go the way that I had for that role. I feel that I couldn't have had a I couldn't have had another director. He needed to be the director because, as soon as we were saying cut, like it was like we both understood each other. We both knew what we had and the connection and just this whole project overall and what we were wanting to do and what we were wanting to accomplish with this. I felt so safe and I am so grateful for that.
I
Yeah,
am hoping that in the next years to come, that this movie ends up in high school classes and relationship classes and places
yeah,
like that, where we need to tell this story to people
yeah,
who are either going to get married or they're young and they're starting relationships because the red flags
yeah,
will always be the red flags.
yeah, absolutely. And it's
Yes.
funny because if you don't know about him, it'll seem as if, oh my God, he loves me so much that he can't be away from me and he's jealous of me. And those things that seem like maybe good traits. Um, Slowly but surely that becomes isolating you and controlling you, and yeah, we definitely have to. There's too many people that are suffering and dealing with this, and it's too
Mhm.
hard to get out. That I agree with you. I think we need to make a lot more noise with. I mean, I love it if it's this film. I think this film is very well positioned for it,
Yeah.
and I think so far we've done well out of the gate. And hopefully it'll continue. And the thing that I love most about it is it's so heavy, but also I feel like it is so hopeful too.
Mhm.
There's hope even amongst all the misery and all the challenges and everything else. There's hope. You can, and the strength that Nicole had to do what she did, I think that really comes through, and I think that can be a great roadmap for somebody going through something like it.
Yeah, and it's a must-see movie. It really is, no matter what age you are, adolescent to adult, you need to see this so you can understand maybe what your mother or your
Yeah,
aunt or your friend is going through in these abusive relationships. I think it's a,
yeah.
a wonderful blueprint on how to be a friend and how to be around people that are suffering this way.
Yeah, and maybe some can be a safe house for a friend. Maybe some can offer some money to a cause. Maybe some
Yes.
can provide help at a shelter. There's so many ways that we can get involved. We're trying with these little limited theatrical screenings that we're doing around the country. We're trying to really engage the domestic abuse and domestic violence people to use this as a way to bring people together
Mhm.
and to help share some of those resources, because we are so underfunded and understaffed and undermanned and underhoused when it comes to this, that the more people we can bring together, the better we can do.
This
Yeah.
is the beauty of independent movies is the fact that you do something sometimes just out of love. You don't have the
Yeah.
money, you just do it because you need to.
Yeah. We said when we went out on this, obviously everybody's hoping to make a buck on the film, no doubt about it. But we said we can't forget that just as big is going to be if we can create change and if we can give Nicole a platform to talk about her message and if we can continue speaking on the subject because this has become a big passion part for us now and we really do think we can make a difference.
Yeah.
The movie again is Finding Nicole. Check
Mhm.
your local theaters for premieres. And what's the website if people just want to find out more information and where it's going to be playing?
Probably the best thing to do is to follow Finding Nicole Movie on Instagram, finding underscore movie underscore, or finding underscore Nicole underscore movie,
Yes.
or finding Nicole on Facebook. Those two sites are pretty active and we will keep posting. Or follow Katie, myself, or Nicole Beverly,
Yeah.
Kaiti Wallen, or Harley Wallen.
I can't congratulate you enough, and you, Katie, is it just what a beautiful performance. What an absolute stellar performance you had in this film.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.